Time to get to an exclusive chat now. We are now joined by Mr. Sandeep Poundrik, the Secretary, Ministry of Steel, who joins us on the show. Hi, sir. Good morning, and thanks a lot for speaking to us here on CNBC TV18. And before I move forward, I just wanted to compliment you as well as your team. You all were rallying for some kind of protection for the steel industry, and very rightly so, going by the kind of uncertainty we have in the global backdrop. And this is the second time I've seen in the last 10 years or so that you'll have come in there and helped the steel industry. I recall the MIP that was imposed in 2015, and now, in fact, the safeguard duty as well. So good going on that front. But, sir, we have a couple of questions on that front. When does the safeguard duty of around 12% take shape? When does it get implemented? Point number one. Point number two is there are various rumors and murmurs that maybe, in fact, that safeguard duty could move up to around 20%, purely going by the kind of uncertainty, kind of dumping we're seeing from the Chinese. Is there a possibility for it to move up?
So, thank you and good morning. On the first question of safeguard duty, when it is going to be implemented, as you know, DGTR has given its recommendations. They are in public domain. DGTR has recommended 12% safeguard duty on certain products and with caps on prices of those products. That recommendation is under examination in the government. I think in very near future a final decision will be taken on that. I really can't give you a exact timeline, but my expectation is in near future a decision will be taken on that, so we can expect that. On your second question, point about 20%, I really don't know, because it's a, as you know, the DGTR process, the safeguard duty imposition process, is a sort of a quasi-judicial process, and DGTR has heard everyone, asked for objections, and after that they have recommended this safeguard duty. So I think when the decision will be taken, DGTR's recommendation will be the main basis on which the decision will be taken. I don't see any reason for the rumors about 20% safeguard duty.
Okay, all right. Thanks for clarifying that, sir. But near future, could you quantify it? Should we work with 45 days to 2 months? Would that be a fair estimate? Within this time, we should see the implementation?
You know that I really can't give you exact timeline, because it's not the Ministry of Steel which will take a final decision. It's the Ministry of Finance, in consultation with Ministry of Steel and Ministry of Commerce and everything. So I really can't give you a exact timeline for that.
Okay, all right. But at least you're clarifying that as of now, we should be working with that 12% mark itself. Those rumors of around 20% for the time being, that they don't have any merit. What about steel consumption, sir? That's been quite strong in India.
Yeah.
The globe has been in a tizzy, but steel consumption here in India has been good. 9 to 10% in an environment that was rather brittle. For this year, what kind of a number you're working with in terms of steel consumption growth?
So I totally agree with you on that. In fact, India is the only country, only major economy where steel consumption is growing in double-digit numbers. If you actually see the data, in 2020-21, we were 95 million tons, increased to 105 with 21-22, 22-23, roughly 120, 23-24, 136, and this year it is 151. So we are growing for last 5-6 years at least for in double-digit numbers, while the world's steel consumption is roughly 1% or even less than that. In all the major economies, the steel consumption is either stagnating or going down. So India is the bright spot in terms of steel consumption, and we expect that this will continue, especially in view of the fact that number one, government spending on infrastructure is sustained. Government is pushing infrastructure. So more than 1 lakh crore last year, more than that this year on infrastructure, then other government programs on roads, bridges, housing.
Yes.
Add to that the private sector development in real estate and other fields. So we expect that for next few years we will continue to grow in double-digit numbers. That's what our assessment is. To match to that, we will need to have the production capacity.
Sure.
I would also like to point out one more thing which I have stated earlier, that the per capita consumption in the country now is more than 100 kgs per person. And it has been seen with respect to other countries that when a country goes at this level of 100 kgs per capita consumption, then the elasticity with respect to GDP growth rate increases. So till now it is 1.2, 1.4. Now I expect that the elasticity will be more than 1.5. So even if with that, if you see our GDP growth rate around 6.5 or so, then the steel consumption should grow about 10%.
Okay, so above 10% growth in domestic steel consumption. Got that point, sir. But sir, just to revisit what you said earlier on the safeguard duties, and you were telling Nigel that you don't see much merit or any reason behind these rumors of expecting 20% safeguard duty. If I could just press on that point a little bit, when the safeguard duty calculations happened and the industry had made its case with the government, this was the US liberalization day era, where anyway companies were talking about dumping happening from China and allied countries like Vietnam, etc. In this new reality where there is a tit-for-tat fight between China and the US and tariffs are as high as 145% on China, will 12% safeguard duty be enough to offer protection to the Indian industry? Because there's a huge fear of additional dumping through some other routes, circumvention, maybe not directly from China. Will 12% be enough, sir?
So let me say what has been the import in last year. If you actually see the import data for 24-25 as compared to 23-24, the import has increased by roughly 1 million tons. So it was roughly, I would say 8.3 in 23-24. This year it has been 9.5, so 1.2 million ton increase, which is about 14% increase. And most of that increase has, the bulk of the increase is from Japan, not from China. So if you actually see the import data, China, Korea, etc. are more or less at the same level at 23-24. So I don't expect any major import increase because of the present scenario. Also in view of the fact that in addition to safeguard duty, we are also trying to see that misuse of licenses doesn't take place. We have got complaints that in certain cases and in certain countries, licenses are being misused by importers and exporters both. So that is under investigation, and we would try to put a stop to that kind of practices. So it's safeguard duty, I don't think is the only way to protect the domestic industry.
Mr.
Other
Poundrik?
ways of ensuring that the proper procedures are,
Yeah, sorry, I completely take your point. Good morning, Prashant here. In what way, sir, are these licenses being misused that you are sort of looking at?
So basically,
just to illustrate an example, with an example,
they are still under investigation. So just to get an example, basically what we are getting complaints is that if a particular license is with a licensee in a country, then multiple factories or multiple units are using that license to export steel to India. So suppose legally only one person to whom the license has been given to the entity, they can only export, but we have got complaints that malpractices in that respect is happening, that people are using that license to export to India. So similarly, the other example is where misclassification of products. We have got complaints that misclassification or wrong classification of products is being done to get out of the BIS and QCO requirements. So we have got those complaints. We are investigating them. We will try to plug those loopholes also, so that these kind of things don't happen.
Right. Mr. Poundrik, just to press on the earlier question, I think you made it clear, but allow us one more attempt. Not on the rate of 12 to 20%, but do you reckon, because I mean the US-China thing looks like a very, very protracted thing. Our imports were only about 3 million tons from China. But the point is, it could be, more steel could come from other locations. So are you worried about that? And also, will more products need to be covered under these kind of safeguard duties, stainless steel, etc.? Or you think that's not necessary?
For now, I will stick with what the DGTR recommendation is, and if we see in future that what you are seeing is taking place because of the present situation, if there are any changes, then government can always have a relook. So that option is always open. But for now, I don't see any reason to have a relook at that for the now. On the product side, stainless steel, I don't think there is any application filed by stainless steel industry. As you know that for safeguard duty, the industry has to file a application with DGTR. So if the industry files, then the process will be undertaken by the relevant authorities, and government will take a decision on that.
Mr. Poundrik, just to clarify, final on this tariff point, can you tell us if in the last couple of weeks you've received any fresh applications from industry to consider a duty even higher than 12%? Or can you confirm if the DGTR itself could be thinking of maybe revising its suggestion of 12% as of now?
I can't comment on behalf of the DGTR because that will have to be answered by DGTR. In the Steel Ministry, we have not received any such applications for increasing from 12 to 20%. DGTR, you will have to ask the DGTR whether they have received any such applications.
Okay, all right. When I speak to some of these steel producers, they said the higher the better. But as of now, you're saying you've not heard it. So maybe, in fact, that's not yet reached your ears. For the time being, we'll work with 12%. Let's get a couple of quick pointers out of the way, sir. There was talk of this mega merger, NMDC Steel, SAIL, as well as RINL. Is that on the cards or no?
RINL, as you know, that government has given a lot of money to RINL to keep it as an ongoing concern. So I don't see any possibility of immediate merger. That decision is not there in the government. Similarly for NSL, so for now, no such talks are, or no such thing is happening in the ministry for merger of these three.
Okay, all right, and no merger as of now between these three. Also, any plans to divest NMDC Steel? Has that moved forward?
As you know that the 21 decision of cabinet that NSL will be divested still stands. However, not much progress has taken place on that front. That process is undertaken by Department of Divestment, as you know. So DPAM is the responsible department for that. As far as our information is, not much progress has happened because of various reasons, including local resistance and all of that.
Okay, got it. All right, very quickly, sir, before we let you go, What about IOL in conversation with the Karnataka government? They wanted to push through that bill, which is going to be increasing royalties to a very, very large rate. There's been to and fro. I believe that it's not yet got the green signal. IOL in conversation with them for a more rational rate out there, because otherwise it will make mining unviable for a lot of these miners.
I agree that if we increase the taxes or royalties or whatever on iron too much, then it will have an impact on the mining industry. Also, that cost of iron ore in the country is already not very low. So if we increase that, then it will have its consequent impact on the steel prices also. As far as the talk with Karnataka government is concerned, that is being led by the Mines Ministry, because they are the nodal ministry for all mines, and the bill which has been brought by the government. Mines Ministry is talking on behalf of Government of India,
right?
Both in the legal system as well as with the state government.
I got that. Thank you so much for providing all that clarity, Mr. Poundrik. Really appreciate your time here on CNBC-TV18, and we look forward you're able to join us more frequently to touch upon the important sort of issues with regards to the sector. Thank you very much indeed.